we're going to move into our next game now, which is we're going to be casting match J, which has already had its first game. So the Wizards against Jelly. And I believe that the Wizards carried game 1 there against Team Jelly. Two very evenly matched teams, though very close in terms of the bracketing. So in Wizards we have Dom from Burning and Gandalf from Burning, and over in Jelly we've got Alpha 2546 and Smith Force, all extremely good, extremely high level players. I think all of them maybe Uber League, in fact.
And all of them in Team Burning, so this is what we'd call a friendly, not so friendly match.
Absolutely, it's all friendly until there's money on the line.
And that's quite a sum as well. $200 is, I think, the second largest prize we've ever had in PA.
I think it may be the largest prize we've ever had.
No, absolutely second largest, I'm afraid.
Oh, what was the? Oh, wait, was this the plushie?
Of course it was the plushie.
Is that what I'm going to hear? I knew it.
The plushie is priceless.
I knew it was going to be the plushie. God,
oh,
man.
Come on.
Oh, God.
That is the best PA prize that's ever been given out. Technically, those are limited edition. That could be worth a fair few bob if you really wanted to flog it.
Why would you want to?
Exactly. Priceless.
I am, in actual fact, holding my plushie right now, although I'm only holding it in my mind because you failed to bring one back for me from the States.
When you say failed to bring one back for you,
well,
what you actually mean is I didn't have enough space in my suitcase.
I said, WrongCat, can you bring back one of those plushies? And you're like, Quitch, I've got your back. I've got your back, buddy. You can depend on the cat. And I was like, I know I can depend on you, WrongCat. I know I can. And then you came back and you went, oh yeah, you wanted a plushie. And yeah, I'm hurt. Okay, I'm hurt.
You're not bitter at all.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I barely even remember the event.
Except every night in your sleep.
Well, that's it. In the quarterfinals, so we're going into game 2. So we've unfortunately missed the Reef, but we are going into Ice Madness game 2. That is a very confusing map, really.
Confusing how?
It's a lot of very similar looking terrain. It's very easy to lose your bearings on that map. This might just be because of the fact that I've got a terrible sense of direction, but certainly I found it could well be. But you've got a lot of identical terrain. You're playing it's making full use of the sphere. There's nothing really distinctive to get your bearings by, so you tend to do it by base configuration. And if you lose some troops while you're swinging the camera around, that's it. You've lost what's going on.
Are we ready to start this next match?
We are indeed, and we will be launching into Ice Madness now between between the Wizards and Jelly. So,
fantastic team names, I have to say.
Where do they find them? Where do they find them?
Right, so
onto Ice Madness with its 87 metal, and we have the Wizards in white and Jelly in pink.
I think that's quite an appropriate team colour, don't you? Pink jelly.
So.
Yeah, I'd guess that.
The tastiest of the jellies. Well, purple is the tastiest of the jellies, but pink's close enough.
Right, so we are into round 2 of 3 out of round 2 of 3 in the best of 3 for round 2 in the Binary Stars tournament. Nexus eSports.com with Quitch and TheWrongCat. Players are now spawning in. So
yeah, as I say, quarterfinals. I expect to see on this map a combination of docks and tanks, maybe mainly tanks. My experience has been playing this that you feel that docks are going to be more effective than they are. It's quite easy to shut them down. There's a lot of choke points, and it's the metal spread. There's no one really effective point. Your main metal source is generally going to be in your base. It doesn't give, but we're seeing a lot of bot factories go down, so my predictions are off to a great start already. Bots, and more bots. All bots, all day. Bots and air.
Well, this is a change from what we've seen so far, which the previous 2 games, we've barely seen any bots outside of boom bots, but here's a big open map. The map control that Docs can offer you is going to be absolutely crucial here.
I don't know, I find that you think that's going to play, and certainly I've gone Docs heavy here, but my experience against other players, admittedly better players than me, which might be why this happened, but it's so easy to shut everything down with tanks. Really easy. A good portion of the metal is sitting between you and your opponent, so the metal opportunities outside tend to be controlled more by air than they were, because the distance between your base and your opponent's base is again quite small, which really helps favour a tank push. But all these players have gone Docs, so we're not going to see that.
And we're also seeing each of the players has an air factory queued up, so obviously very aware of the importance of air in a map like this.
Absolutely, you're going to see a lot. The airplay is going to be key on this map, especially you've got docks. And already, oh, Jelly almost scoring an early fabber there. Bit of a lucky fabber spawn there for the Wizards. Should have had those docks placed out slightly more defensively, guard that fabber when it was moving. But a lucky escape, lucky escape.
It looks like the early, very aggressive play is coming out from Team Jelly. I'd say that single docks, if you can call that an aggressive play, but he was obviously looking for an early fabber snipe. And he almost got it. But now we're just seeing a couple of docks just sort of bumping into each other in the middle, almost by accident, and just trading shots. Nothing too significant at the moment. Nice radar placement here, though, it has to be said, by the Wizards. I'm just ping that for you now, so I can...
No, absolutely. That one, they've snuck over into the crevice there. Yeah, it's a
that's
nice
very, very good placement. Very, very good placement indeed.
Yeah, intelligence, especially in this docks heavier map, is going to be key. You need to know where your enemy's forces are moving around. You can't be surprised by a swift docks movement. You need to have all that radar intelligence. So I'm surprised, actually, not to see a radar in this Jelly base. Both of the Wizard bases have radar. Only one of the Jelly bases does. I think that could well make the difference. It's certainly going to leave Jelly exposed on one side.
Absolutely. I'd be surprised if we don't see a radar coming out of this base in the next couple of minutes. And you can actually see... what was that? Nope.
I think it was withdrawing as a force. I think it's moving in. He said nope, I believe. Unless he destroyed something I didn't see. But we see some sneaky air fabric expansion going on from Jelly here. Those can be really effective so long as you don't get caught. But... this, I don't know which player this is who has the the Ajax commander, sorry. But no air, only air just coming out now, so some great opportunities for Jelly to grab early metal, and you can see already they're taking a substantial resource lead.
They are indeed. So tactically, it looks like the Wizards are sort of taking the upper hand here. You're right about this map being disorientating. I've just got absolutely lost. I'm back on track now.
Yeah, it's very easy to lose your bearings on this map. There are no big terrain features that you can go, there's the cliff that I use to know where I am. And yeah, it all looks rather the same.
Anyway, tactically, as I say, early tactic play, looks like the Wizards are very much on point here, but the aggressive expansion from Team Jelly towards the rear of the planet is really playing to their favour. They've got a significant eco lead this early in the game.
A nice little placement around the back with some docks here. I'm expecting to see them. Hopefully they can move at some point, and this is the kind of thing that radar would be really good at catching onto. But because there's no radar, they're going to be free to run around and take out all of these metal spots. So this resource lead that these two air fabbers are gaining for Jelly is going to be lost pretty quickly to these docks raids. And the Wizards certainly put out some rather defences, surprised by in a docks heavy game, but certainly they're just going to lock down that area. Don't want anyone coming straight through the front door. We see Jelly switching to tanks in one of their bases now. Got mass tanks, in fact, over on that base. Other bases sticking to a docks heavy approach.
Actually, Jelly have still not found that radar, that really, really sneaky, cleverly placed radar, and I think that is actually going to completely decide how that confrontation plays out between those two players.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for Jelly to outmaneuver the Wizards there. They're not going to be able to do anything sneaky. Everything's going to be visible to them. And I don't know if that was you pinging or if that was them, because it's white.
That was them. That was definitely them,
they've
not me.
spotted the air fabbers. Those getting caught out now. Those are now down, and those mechs are all going to get taken out.
A lot of investment, all now going to be squandered. I'm not. That doesn't take long for a T1 metal extractor to pay for itself. It has to be said, but it's still a fairly significant investment, which is now going to disappear.
And we see Jelly going for Grenadiers, in fact. Very surprised to see that. Finally picking up a radar in the base that's lacking one, but yep, some Grenadiers mixed in among the Infernos and the Bolos.
I can see the appeal of Grenadiers on this map, because there are enough of these sort of fairly low but wide terrain features that being able to shoot over the top of those could be quite useful in certain situations.
I'm going to say, no, they suck, and they shouldn't be calling them. I don't think that's... Unless they think they're really going to run into a lot of turrets and need to outrange them, I don't think they need Grenadiers on this map. They're better off either committing to the Bolo force or committing to the Docks force. And again, I'm not sure I like the Infernos either, to be quite honest. Especially not at this army scale anyway. They're useful later on when you're really pushing hard into someone's base. As we saw there though, those light laser turrets, not much resistance, especially not against the tank force. Completely inappropriate defences there.
Very aggressive commander play here. Looks like he's actually going for the walls. These docks are being selected in with these tanks, which is unfortunate because that means that they lose all speed advantage because they're now walking at the speed of the tanks.
Yeah, there's really no reason to have your docks in with your tanks. You should be operating as almost a completely independent force. You get them around the map, raid, attack, keep the other guy on his back foot, but don't stick him in with the tanks.
Early raid here. The commander's trying to stick some walls up, get himself put on the front line there. Those grenadiers are actually, funnily enough, grenadiers putting a little bit of work on the commander at long range.
Well, if they're going to wall it off, then yeah, those grenadiers may see some, may get to do something here. If they can, especially can hit that fabber and stop shooting those walls.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
I'm not sure if they can. Well, they have to manually target him because they don't have vision, so they're not going to switch by themselves. That's one of the problems.
That's a nice Uber cannon placement there, and that's effectively put us. Well, the commander is still taking a fair bit of damage, though, mind you. He's being dinked, I'd call it.
The commander steps out and says nope, and takes out that force. Those walls are only intermittently going up, certainly getting picked off slowly, but they're flanking heavily. But oh, the bombers coming in, taking out a huge swath of the Dodge force. That was brutal. Yeah, this is.
There's a ping, and that's not. They're trying to micro them out of the way, but it's not effective.
Yeah. Now we're going over to Docksworth by equal size, and that's not going to get them very far. But in come the fighters from the Wizards, taking out that air force.
Both of the Wizard commanders are right up on their front lines, though.
Jelly really do have the map, though. They've got little dock forces out. They're denying opportunities. The Wizards are trying to raid them and take them down, but Jelly seems to be expanding so well, and the Wizards are just so focused on building these walls, the defences. They're not expanding as quickly. I'm surprised to see so many defences, to be quite honest with you.
I'm seeing a teleporter here from Team Jelly, and I'm not quite sure why. Oh, that commander's making noises. Oh wow, boom bots! No, mines! What was that?
I think that was booms. I see some booms back in the Team Jelly's base. Oh, actually, the Wizards managed to get raiding deep here, and again the docks being moved with the tanks, so they're not coming through as they should.
That was boom bots. That was a hell of a hit. That commander was not expecting that.
Unfortunately, though, Team Jelly have allowed this this force of the Wizards to just get raid really deep, take out all that energy. All those mechs are down, and they're going to keep. And if they're smart, they're going to keep running. And indeed, they're running both directions. Oh dear me! How did that get through as well? There was. Oh, it looks like Team Jelly ran. Did they run into those turrets? How did that? What happened to their docks force they had over here? Oh, absolutely melted. Let's have a. What happened to these poor devils? They run into these turrets.
This is a very fast-paced game. You do miss out on things sometimes when there's so much going on. There's so many faces of the map. More raiding coming out from the Wizards here. The economy is fairly even. Both teams making good use of expansion and even more effective use of raiding.
Well, the Wizards are really raiding down the Jelly's economic advantage now. They had a lot of the map, and just the Wizards have just put the docks out there, taking them down. The Jelly's now going for some more frontal pushes, but they're running to those walls that the Wizards have put up. Both teams, though, both of their base, both sides have had a significant hit to their base. It's really, really back and forth here.
I feel like of the two sides, the Wizards have had the hardest time closer to home, but they've been making good use of their commanders to try and defend it. Minus that unguarded commander getting hit by those boom bots there. That was really unwise to have him out there by himself in that way.
Well, it looks like the Wizards are abandoning this base now. We see the commander setting up a second defensive line. They're withdrawing. That base looks like it's going to go down, and that's going to be a significant loss to them. But the Wizards have only got 11 factories to the 25 of Jelly. They are really behind in terms of production.
I'm not actually sure that base is going to go anywhere. There's enough docks there.
They have indeed. It does look like, they've run back in there and pushed him out again. I was expecting Jelly to do better with that. Not quite sure how they...
Now we have another force on the other side of the planet coming in. There's a big force, and there's not a lot to answer to it. This is going to be a big hit, particularly to the energy, if they can go and target that as well. Again, there's another a lot of production going to go down there, and we see that the Wizards are significantly behind in terms of army. Their production is down. Their army's going down. I'm not quite sure how they're so far behind when I guess the economy advantage that Jelly's been enjoying for a while, they don't have it anymore, but they did early on. And it looks like they've turned that into units really well. Now again, they've got these docks sat in with the tanks, and they're not pushing into the base. They're strafing the base. Why are you not pushing directly into the middle of it before they have a chance to react?
Oh, I think that's good. I think that's good. They maintain the range, and it forces the docks that the wizards have to come out and fight them. If they don't come out, then they lose the factories. And by closing out, yeah, we see here that those tanks can just pick them off at range. And this is why I don't think that all docks is as strong as people think when they initially look at this map. The distances between the bases are so small that tanks become really effective really fast.
That army is just sat there, isn't it? And now they're streaming everything in.
Yeah, closing in now. They've taken out a good chunk of docks. They need to take out some more production, but it's really looking like the wizards are in trouble now. They've
got another army coming in on the other side of that base as well.
Yeah, they're the back foot everywhere, and their production is down. They're not producing the troops to replace the ones that they're losing. Now 130 units behind, and the Jelly have about twice as many factories now.
Their eco lead is slowly waning as well as more and more metal extractors get taken out, and in particular we're going to start to see energy problems for them soon if this carries on. Because there are plenty of energy problems. The front commander is now having to get up on that front line, stick some walls down, expose himself to what is a potentially fatal army if they play their cards in that particular way. And they've now got some docks coming through to try and fight them off on this side of the base. But yeah, pressure going on both sides here. This is really not looking good for them. Wizards are going to have to keep expanding out the back and just hope they can take enough to get back into this game, but they're really looking like they're in trouble now. The eco advantage that Jelly had for a significant period of this game has been turned into a massive troop advantage, so that even after the Wizards did a great job raiding, their army was already lagging behind in size, and their docks armies are just melting now. They've got no offensive capabilities. These tank armies are of a large enough size that the docks just can't commit to the battles. Most of the map now looks pretty pink.
It does indeed look pretty in pink. I would agree.
Yes, it looks absolutely beautiful. The Wizards commanders are both sort of slowly being forced together as there are raids happening all around. The eco advantage now lies back with Team Jelly as well.
Absolutely.
So they've got the army advantage, they've got the eco advantage here, and really all the Wizards can do is hope to save them off for long enough to recover.
Oh, we see the booms coming in now from Jelly. They smell blood. They've seen the commander of the docks forces.
That commander is
sitting
in a
behind
lot
the
of trouble.
Yep,
that is really going to be quite nasty if they don't get those docks up on the front line in time.
Oh, but they're going to move. Oh, almost move within the vision of that fighter. Not quite. I don't think they didn't quite move in and weren't seen. The docks are coming around that side actually.
Oh dear.
Docks are in completely the wrong position. If those booms go in now, that commander is dead.
That's gone.
But they're not. They're not moving in. I don't know if they even.
They've not scouted. They've not scouted. They haven't got. They've got radar up of this base, but they've not got vision of what is where. Those booms don't actually know where the commander is. That's why they've not sent them in.
But the Wizards totally falling back now. You see, they're almost building up their own little stronghold at around the North Pole area, building up walls, building up turrets. They're right on the back foot, getting hemmed in hard, and that's not a sustainable position. That's ceding way too much of the map to Jelly.
Now, the Wizards' point of view is looking pretty grim right now. They can see purple blips everywhere, just converging on that commander. They can see 3 distinct groups of purple, pink blips. Their commander is not in the best of positions right now. He knows. In fact, there's now a 4th group moving in. They're surrounding him completely. They've now got scout. They've now seen the commander using those fighters. They've found that the commander is indeed there. All of those little groups of units are now going to start convening on his position. Yeah, and hopefully once they draw the docks away, the docks get drawn away, the booms are going to sweep in there and finish the job. A couple of bombers in there as well to take out that docks. Oh, that's absolutely.
And here come the booms. Brutal. Here they come. They know the commander's vulnerable now.
Not long for this world. Who's going to get there first? Is it going to be the bolos or is it going to be the booms?
They're going to withdraw the bolos. They're pulling out. They're going in with the booms now. That's
there he goes.
Down he goes.
1 commander down for the Wizards. That's the 2nd boom bot raid from Team Jelly, and it was successful this time around. That commander absolutely roasted.
Now it's beautiful work by them. Moved in, cleared out the docks, make way for the booms to come in and finish that off, and that way they don't lose their army. They can commit that to the next assault, and the Wizards now totally doomed, I think.
You saw the patience there. They just manoeuvred all of those armies. They knew the commander wasn't going anywhere. They manoeuvred there. They trapped him in there, whittled away any possible chance that the boom bots would not be able to do their job. And then once they were sure that that area was clear, they sent them in. that was really, really good tactical play there from Team Jelly.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
They played it perfectly, and they're now just going to close in with these forces. There's not the production, there's not the resources for the Wizards. I would expect to see the GG in the not too distant future at this point. That I don't see that they really have any options now in terms of taking back map control or winning this game.
Right, you see pings there from Team Jelly. I imagine that they're guessing where the commander is, and they're just trying to circulate all their forces round just to collapse on his position. We've got some scouting about to happen, I think, shortly once these aircraft finish what they're doing over here.
I think they already know where he is. They're just picking off at the edges now. They're just closing in. They're grinding down the Wizards' remaining base, bringing up their troops from their other bases as well. It's yeah, they're playing it really well.
Last remaining air force from the Wizards has just been obliterated as well.
And up goes a telly from Jelly. They're getting ready to bring in their troops that are sitting. Here they come, bringing in the troops from their base, and that is definitely gonna be the end now. The troops closing in from every side of this base. Yeah, and there comes the GGs.
So many. I hadn't even seen all those. That's why I did question why they had that teleporter built earlier. But now there's no question. They were waiting for the opportunity to send through that gigantic wave of units like they have just done.
There come the GGs, and that is going to be game 2 going to Jelly, which I believe makes it 1-all.
That's...
Was being told as well, actually, that we have our first semi-finalists. That Team Ponage have made it through to the semi-finals, so congratulations to them. Alright, here in the quarterfinals, we are going to be going into game 3 between Jelly and the Wizards. But first of all, let's do a little review.
Let's. Team Ponage. I'm just quickly doing a quick check to see who the team members are for Team Ponage. That is Raptor and Matt R. Munson.
Yeah, good for them. And Matt R. Munson has been taking a little vacation, I believe, so it's good to see an old name back. I don't know Raptor, actually, but certainly doing better, I think, than I had predicted. But first of all, before we take a look at those brackets, let's take a look at this game. And just see where it all went wrong for the Wizards, who had, I think, a rather strong start.
They did. I think, again, it's actually been. It was a slightly neater version of what we've been seeing in our previous games, where one team was very, very strong right off the bat with the aggressive tactical plays, really good raiding, and trying to keep your opponent on the back foot. And Team Jelly were on the back foot for a good bit of that defensive.
Well,
but at the same time, they were expanding.
Yeah, with their back
eco.
foot, yeah, militarily, but they made some really nice plays with the air fabric expansion, and the lack of air at one of the Wizards' bases really cost them, because they weren't moving the air between their bases. The other bases was fighting Jelly's air, and the late air meant that they didn't catch those fabrics until really late on. And at that point, the army advantage was well, Wizards was keeping up quite well at first, but at some point that switches around. I think when we move to tanks, and that's why we see the armies about equal, because Jelly then commit to a tank force, which, as we saw, works out far better. And that does seem to be when the difference was made. Once the tanks came out, the bots just were no longer a factor in the game. The Wizards couldn't compete. They hadn't been aggressive enough with their own docks to keep those tank numbers down.
What I would say, though, that was a much neater game than the previous ones that we've been casting this tournament. Both teams were very efficient with their use and play of units, knew what they wanted to do, and they went about it in a way which was quite streamlined, and they committed to a single strategy at a time, shifted strategies where they needed to, adapted where they found that they needed to but at the same time they weren't wasting. There was very little wastage in that game, except where it was necessary, like for example where you're stalling on energy so you can't use all your metal.
No, it's an excellent play there by Jelly. They almost got in trouble though when they let Wizards run a huge dot force around the back of their base. That was a really close moment for them, and I think an opportunity for the Wizards to perhaps start to turn it around. But even by then, there was just too many tanks out on the field, and really those docks had nowhere to go.
It was, really, prior to the last 2-3 minutes of that game, it was still anyone's game to win. So that was a good, close game, and I think these two teams are quite evenly matched in terms of skill levels. And certainly the fact that we are 1-1 out of a best of 3 is indicative of that.
No, absolutely. So we're going to see those teams go into Game 3 now, which is going to be played on Miso, one of the official ladder maps.